have put one of the two tensioners on here, belt tensioners. I have this on here. I made me a tightener right here with a spring on it. Basically, this is a bolt right here that I drilled a hole through here. I put this little spacer in here and welded the spacer, and then I welded the bolt from the bottom side, the head of the bolt from the bottom side. I'll have a washer, and then I've got to put a nut on here yet. So got a little bit of work done, got a little bit more to do. See where I have this piece all bolted on here. I made a little bit of a spacer. I needed for it to be back this way just a little bit from where it was. So things are finally starting to come together. And you'll notice on my last video I had the body panels on it, but I had just had them clamped on there. They are actually sitting right there. I didn't actually mount them on there yet. I still have a lot of work to do to them, and plus I have some things that I need to get done in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to put the floor in this to where I will have something to mount pedals to and a gear shift to. So I've made this piece here. It's got I just stuck a 5/16 bolt through there, welded the head on there, and then cut the thread part of the bolt off. And what this is going to do is there's a hole right here in this clutch that this pin will fit down into, like so, and then this hooks onto that stem right there. And then I'm going to try to get a snap ring on there, or a C-clip. I think this C-clip is just a little bit small. I'm probably going to have to find a little bit bigger one. But anyway, that'll keep the clutch from spinning around, and it'll hold it in place. And then back here I got my other tensioner mechanism put on here. I'll have a spring on here to pull it out like that to keep the belt tensioned. And then also, if this doesn't work out with the clutch the way I want it to, I'm hopefully going to be able to hook a pedal up to this to be able to control this tensioner. Of course, I'll have to rig up some kind of something on this end and the other end down there to keep the belt from falling off when I do that. But I want to see if this is going to work first. I've taken the front steering pieces back off again just to take them out and paint them. My original plan was to wait till the very end and then completely take it apart and paint everything, and as you can see, I've started spraying some black spray paint on the frame items, and basically black paint covers up a whole lot of ugly. So I'm using black paint on the frame, and then the body I'm going to use safety yellow, bright yellow on the body. And there'll be some trim pieces that'll have yellow, and then some trim pieces that'll have black on it. But if y'all know how I am, once I get this thing done, I'm going to want to be driving it right off the bat. So I figured I'd go ahead and put some paint on some stuff just in case I got like that, which I'm sure I will. You can probably barely see the steering parts, black steering parts laying on a black trailer. It's probably kind of hard to see, but this morning it was 17 degrees. It's warmed all the way up to 50 degrees. So I was able to get out here and do some spray painting on these parts out here in the sunshine. One of the things I've been working on is I extended the shifter linkage out to get it over to the side, and I've got a rod running down through here. There's my shifter console there. And then I had to make a piece under here. Get the rod coming through there to a bar. There's a shaft going over to this piece. And that's the rod running all the way back to the back there. And it's pretty close right now. I can't really tell for sure till I get it going whether the gears are gonna match up exactly, but I've got a little bit of adjustment room on all these things. That's why I went with this plate that has the multiple holes in it, where if I need to adjust it a little bit, I can. But getting ready to I got the body panels. I had to put these brackets on here to hold the gap and the spacing in here, and then on the other side I've got everything rounded off the edges real nicely, and I've got piano hinges on there, and just to hold the gap real nicely, so when I set it up there and mount it, it will have the gaps all right and everything will be good and square.
That's my phone.
Alright, are we sitting on anything? We're not already.
Nope. Only thing we're sitting on is the lift itself.
Melody, you get a bunch of the clamps. Alex, you get a bunch of the clamps.
Okay.
Anywhere that we can clamp this on here.
You want to do this clamp?
No, it's fine. Clamp one on the bottom back here, Alex.
I got one right here.
Right here. Under it.
So here's the semi with the side panels on it. We got these here. We got the doors put on. You can see they're just held on temporarily by these latches right here. We got the temporary seat. We also have a shifter that we did because there's a thing back here, or if you see that rod right there, it's connected to the shifter and connected to the transaxle.
Alright, I'm wanting to put disc brakes on this thing some kind of way. Right now the only brake I have is on the transaxle, and I want to actually use that as a parking brake. So I'm wanting to use these discs right here and put them right along in here somewhere. Well, that way I can utilize the shaft that I made for this front set of wheels right here. Which is going to mean I'm going to have to redo these. On one of the previous Mini Semi videos you saw me making these pieces right here. And what I'm going to end up doing is remaking them using a piece of axle like this with that on there, and then slip it up inside of here. And I'll have one longer one and then one shorter one. This one's not as long as this one over here is. But I'll get those fabricated up, and I won't show you how I did them because it's basically the same as the way I made these. But I'll show you what they look like when I get done with them. Alright, this was the original axle shafts that I made. This part went up into the hub, then had the bearing on there, and then the sprocket for the chain on there. And I needed it to be longer to be able to get a disc brake on there. So what I've done is I've made this piece right here. Basic, same thing here, but I put a longer piece of axle in there, and it's splined right here to receive the disc. This is what it looks like from underneath. You see the bearing and the sprocket and the disc on there. Then from the top side, I notched out this piece of the frame right here for the disc, and I'm going to be putting either the caliper right here or maybe back here on the back side further. And then I've got to do the same thing. The piece I just made will go on this side, and I'll probably have to cut underneath here in the frame. I'll have to move this out of the way to get to it, but it's a little smaller disc, so it won't stick up quite as far as this one. It's just what I've got right now. I don't have two matching discs, but I think they'll be fine. That worked real well. Got a little work done on the back end of it. I have a couple of windows, and this is a big open spot that's going to have a door on it to get to the motor. And then in here, starting on making more of a permanent seat. And I changed the board that I had here out, and I went to a taller piece that leans back, and the window deck back here. It's coming along a little bit at a time. I've also been working on the inner fenders, the wheel wells, I guess you'd call them. Got them pretty well roughed in, but you can see the progress. Well, that's all for volume 5 of the Mini Semi. Still have to put the pedals, get the brakes done. I still have a lot left to do. But thanks for watching this video on Kevin's Creations. Be sure and like and share our videos, and keep watching.